The problem with flying VFR in Microsoft Flight Simulator, or really any other simulator, is you typically run out of things to do. You pick a location, you fly to it, you land, you circle around, whatever it may be, but then you're back down again. But you lose purpose. And I think that's the hardest part about flying simulation in general, is that it gets difficult to find purpose. And this app may help us with our very own VFR Copilot. Stick around. One app designed to do it all. Hangar Control brings everything together. Control bindings, hardware configuration, mod and profile management, application launching, add-ons, config files, and more, all managed from a single application. Mods Hangar goes beyond just mods and add-ons. It manages profiles, config files, text files, backups, snapshots, and helps keep your community folders clean and organized. Application Hangar launches your entire sim stack with a single click. Your Stream Decks are fully controlled through the Hangar Control plugin, while all of your other Stream Deck plugins remain active and available. Built by a simmer for simmers, Hangar Control adds new features and hardware support every week based on community feedback. It's a one-time purchase with lifetime updates, no subscriptions. You can try it for free for 5 days with no restrictions at overkillsimulations.com. Just create an account, head to your account page, download the latest version, and get started. And if you're looking for in-depth Microsoft Flight Simulator aircraft tutorials, check out my Patreon site. Links to Hangar Control and Patreon are down in the description below. Okay, guys, so let's get right into this. VFR is an absolute blast. It is truly the best way to fly, in my opinion. Now, I love the commercial aircraft just as much as anyone else does. I have a great time with them, but it's not the same as VFR. But what VFR is often missing, as I described in the intro, is purpose, right? Now, we've had multiple different applications that provide some of that purpose. And now we have a new one called SkyMate. Now, I'm going to give you guys the upfront right now. I have done one flight with this so far. It is very early release. It's only received 2 patches so far, but it's been out for a very short period of time. A link to it will be down in the description below if you guys want to check it out. But it essentially puts an AI, kind of AI Copilot into the seat, okay? Now, I am still very much so learning the app, learning the ins and outs. Like I said, I've done one flight. It's got a couple of issues, which we'll talk about at the end of the video when I give you my final wrap-up of its current state. However, the developer is moving very, very quickly. Like I said, there's already been 2 patches, and it's been less than a month. So let's go ahead and get right into what it does. As I said, obviously, it's pretty self-explanatory that it gives you purpose. You have a career progress, you gain experience points, you have different daily challenges, you get money for it, right? All kinds of things that start to come into place. And so let's sort of walk through this. Here is just your main dashboard giving you an idea of where you are. This was my previous flight. Okay, so let's go ahead and come down to this one. You can generate a schedule. And you have schedule parameters that you can set, how many flights per week, the length of the flight, round trips, continuous trips. You can do all kinds of different things. And all of this stuff starts to become unlocked as you level through the application, which I do like the leveling progress. Leveling, I think, is an important aspect even in flight simulation, again, because it gives you further purpose. Now, some may disagree with that, some may agree with that. It really just depends on what you're looking for out of a simulation. I like it, again, because it's more than just the challenge of, sorry, that's bothering me. It's more than just the challenge of going to a specific location, but now you actually have further reason to do so. Okay, then you have special missions, which I haven't gotten into yet, but you can see that your different categories are. You have sightseeing, wildlife survey, infrastructure patrol, things like that. And we'll see how that progresses as we move through the different options. You have your challenges and achievements. You have what's currently active, and there's a bunch of things for us to try to hit. So I really appreciate it. Again, it's not just the same repetitive action over and over, but there's many other things that you can hit. And then you have blocked. These are, we're waiting until, okay, we reach a high enough level where these are open for us, I would imagine. And then you have your completed achievements. Then you have your logbook. You can see again what my previous flight was. It also gives you the landing rating. Look at that, 400 feet per minute in a Cessna 172. Oh my gosh, pilots, that landing was brutal. I hit the ground so hard. You wouldn't think 400 feet would be a lot when you think about some of the bigger airliners, but trust me, in this thing, it hit. You have your aircraft hangar. From the aircraft hangar, you can select which aircraft you want to set as your selected plane. Now, we're starting with the Cessna 172, and you can add an active aircraft. So, for example, if you're in an aircraft that isn't in this list, you can hit the Add Active, and there's Add Aircraft up here, which will also add your current aircraft. Settings, pretty black and white. I'm not going to go through all this stuff, but you have your profile, you pick your name. By the way, don't put like captain or something here, because he calls you captain, your Copilot does, and so he'll call you captain. So don't do that. But you can go in here and change it afterwards. You have push to talk, microphone settings, your MSFS aircraft configuration, for directories. You set your home base. We're doing Ryan Field, which is out of Tucson, Arizona. Emergency system if you want failures, and of course your licensing. Okay, and then you have a level guide of where you're working your way through. So let's go ahead and get right into it. We're gonna start a flight and see how things go. We've got the Track IR set up using Be My Tracker. Make sure you guys check that out. A link to it is down in the description below. Very awesome tool for any webcam. We have Hangar Control running with our touch panel that we have built into the software for our autopilot and our transponder today. And of course, we have Hangar Control managing all of our controls. So we're all set and ready to roll. Services are started, controls are set. Let's do this. So we're going to come in here. Here's our next flight, ready to go. It's just basically we're flying from where we started and we're heading on back to where it all began. Excuse me. I have the hiccups and it's driving me crazy. So please forgive me. I have been trying for the last half hour to get rid of the damn things and they just won't go away. So let's start the flight. Let me make sure audio settings are all set for OBS so you guys can hear everything, and let's rock and roll.
Ground crew is loading the aircraft now. Captain, your co-pilot is online. Checklists are standing by. And I am ready to go when you are.
Okay. So the voice, obviously, they are default voices. They're not AI generated.
Welcome to Sierra Vista, Mooney Libby off. Captain Mike, this mission carries 150 pounds of cargo to Ryan FLD. Sierra Vista Mooney Libby AAF is turning out general freight pallets needed before the next warehouse dispatch for delivery into Ryan FLD. The 41-minute slot leaves very little room for delay. It's a 54 nautical mile leg, about 41 minutes. Confirm the assigned runway, weather, and fuel before taxi. Ready when you are, Captain Mike.
Okay, we got VFR set. Autopilot, let's just go ahead and get that locked in now. We're going to go up to 7,000.
For departure from Sierra Vista, Mooney Libby off.
We're
I
going to
would
arm the
favor
altitude.
runway 12, with the current wind 130 at 7 knots unless ATC assigns something different.
Okay, so we're going to be taking off for runway 30, which we're going to have to cross. All right. 24, I believe, is what it was. I can't remember what the hell the name of the other one was. All right, I think we are ready to rock. It just dawned on me I had a lot of this stuff bound to my flight stick previously, so some of this we're going to have to use the old mouse and keyboard, but once we get up and flying, we'll be good to go. All right, let's see here. I think we're good. Check. Avionics are set. Oh, let's see here. We need a weather update.
Clear. Winds 130 degrees at 5 knots. Temperature 22 degrees Celsius. Altimeter 30.03 inches of mercury. 1,017 hectopascals.
So things like that. Like that's the kind of some of the stuff that I am noticing. Some of the verbiage is very odd. And so hopefully some of that will get ironed out as time moves on. Let's go ahead and also set our flight plan into our 530 here. So it looks like we are already set to K Ryan. Like I said, this is where we came in on. So I think we'll just do a backtrack here and we'll be good to go. Well, let's just add it in, I guess. Doesn't hurt, right? Boop, boop. And let's head on back home. And so we're going to do this and just make it simple. K Ryan. I don't know why I always say that. K Ryan. Perfect. Flight plan. Ready to rock. Alright, let's set our... What's the initial heading? I always forget. Gosh, it's been so long since I've gotten to just fly to fly. I forget how to do all this now. I think it tells us... Yep, direct track is 29er. So that would be... Let's see here. All the way down. Is that right? That doesn't sound right. We'll set it for 299, but that doesn't sound right. That can't be right. Oh, maybe it is. I think it is. Okay, sorry. That's right. We're facing the wrong direction. Okay, so let's get the aircraft started, and I think we'll be good to go. So, clear prop. Okay, let's get this over. Oop, went the wrong way. There we go. Transponders on. Taxi lights on. Parking brake released. Alright. Crossing up. Flipping some lights on. Strobe lights on. Transponder altitude reporting. We're going to do an intersection takeoff. Flaps are retracted. Departure's clear. We're going to do a rolling. Let's try to get a center line. Alright, full power. Airspeed alive. There's 55.
Departure confirmed from Sierra Vista Mooney, Libby off. Climbing through 4,619 feet on heading 82. Let's stay tidy and focused in the initial climb.
Trim for about 75
We're about 5
knots.
nautical miles from Fort Huachuca.
Fort
From
Huachuca, bro.
1913 to 1933, the fort was the base for the Buffalo Soldiers of the 10th Cavalry Regiment.
I do like the history lessons. That's kind of cool. Once we're airborne, I do like to bring my camera up a bit. There we go. Continuing to trim. Continue coming left here, get back on actually flight path. There we go, that's good. Altitude's good, heading's good. Alright, we're on track. By the way, guys, if you missed the intro, of course I'm going to toss it out. Hangar Control, overkillsimulations.com. You do get a 5-day free trial if you're interested in trying it. The touch panels come with it. There's more touch panels coming. We also have gauges. Almost the entire 6-pack for the Cessna 172 is available in it. Same thing with the RPM gauge. We have more touch panels coming. And of course, it handles all of your control bindings, much like you would see in like SPAD.next and things like that. So, lots of really cool stuff in it. Very powerful software. Has a mod manager in it, application manager, window manager, a DCS monitor export tool, all kinds of other stuff. It is an ever-growing piece of software that is constantly in development. Has a full Stream Deck plugin. So you can bind all kinds of stuff to your Stream Decks for both DCS World as well as Microsoft Flight Simulator. Very, very powerful, guys. Consider giving it a shot. Just make sure you create your account first. But getting back to this application is really slick. I do like all the information that's available to you while you are in flight. It is very, very nice. You have your current heading, vertical speed, fuel remaining. There should be plenty, by the way. Current altitude. The only thing that I wish it had is on your navigation. It has your origin, it has your destination, it has your ground speed, all that. It would be nice if it had a heading to destination. If it would track your current heading and give you a bearing. That way, you know, if you need to make a course correction, maybe you weren't flying with a GNS. I think that would just help with the immersion a little bit. Simply because you'd be able to get that information from the Copilot without having to worry about that. So it's not too bad. But very fun little app so far. I like the simplicity of it, and at the same token, I like the features of it. And at his rate of development currently, I foresee a very, very good future for this application. Like I said, there's already been 2 updates for it, and that screams a lot for me because it screams constant effort. You know, I think about how far Hangar Control has grown since its launch in November. You know, just updates every single week, and so you sort of learn to tell where someone's passion is. And you know, apps like these are fantastic. I think it's gonna be a comparison now. At some point, I'm gonna have to get back into it. But you know, one of my favorite all-time career apps was NeoFly. You know, but even NeoFly had its issues, had its bugs, and where I would like to see this one expand further is more into the aviation lingo, getting some of the verbiage right, and then you know, he'll probably point out some geographic locations along the flight route, so that part's pretty cool. And that's got to be tough to do when you're looking at you know, worldwide flight. But if I remember correctly right now, what's supported, I believe, I think I read was the no, never mind. I know exactly what I'm confusing that with. Disregard that statement. I am thinking of Beyond ATC and their VFR control, which we'll be doing a video on next. I'm super excited to try that out. Pretty day. What a pretty day today. We do have a low fuel warning, but I promise we'll make it. Let's kick us over a little bit. It is amazing how far flight simulation has come over the years. Like, it's really phenomenal. All the different tools and features and hardware and software. Great time to be a simmer. And by the way, in case anyone asks, this is my iPad. You can use, for the touch panels for these, not to go back to selling, I'm not trying to make it sound like a sales pitch, just expressing this is neat. You could even use your cell phone. I did a video on the touch panel not too long ago when I did the transponder video, if you guys want to go check that out, where I did the full demo on my cell phone, and it worked fantastic. It was great.
We are cruising towards Ryan FLD with 32 nautical miles to go and fuel at 26%. Chinese letter, Chinese letter, Chinese letter, Chinese letter.
Okay, so that's a bug. So hopefully they'll get that figured out, but just so you see what it was reading, it was capturing that right there. So again, it's not without its issues. Definitely early development. But I'm actually one of those people who likes to be a part of early development builds. Gives you a chance to experience all the features currently exist and see how it improves, and it sort of just kind of makes it like a new app every time you download it. And I kind of enjoy that kind of stuff personally, but you definitely have to have the mind for it for sure. The wrong situation, it can be certainly very frustrating.
Approach setup for Ryan FLD. You are about 20 nautical miles out. If tower does not assign one, runway 15 looks most favorable from winds 130 at 7 knots. Pattern altitude is about 3,217 feet mean sea level. Clear, wind 14 degrees at 7 knots. Temperature 11 degrees Celsius. Altimeter 29.9, 5 inches of mercury. 1,014 hectopascals.
Alright, the altimeter's set. And let's go ahead and start a descent. I'm just going to turn the autopilot off. And we're looking for 3,200 feet. Alright. Give me another weather update.
Clear, wind 4 degrees at 11 knots. Temperature 11 degrees Celsius. Altimeter 29.9, 6 inches of mercury. 1,015 hectopascals.
So again, goofy verbiage there, but information we need is there. What is the field elevation?
Ryan FLD sits at 2,417 feet.
Okay. So you can ask it things like that. Makes it real nice. What is the fuel status?
Fuel is at 24%. That's on the low side.
Yeah, I know. But I knew we'd make it. So, the voice activation commands are pretty cool. It'll be nice to see that expand. I would like to be able to see maybe a way to import checklists, run through your startups and things like that. I think that would add a lot. But we'll see where they go in time. I think the biggest gain for, like I said, applications like this is it gives you reason to fly. And with the experience levels and leveling up and unlocking new things, you know, that gives you even more purpose and more reward for the flight. You know, and even if you think that that an app like that isn't interesting, you'd be surprised. I will promise you that you would be pleasantly surprised with any of the applications like that, where it gives you your flights for you, especially when you do a schedule like this one does. This one actually gives you a schedule, as we saw in the beginning of the video, of how to plan your week. You know, just one more thing that you can sort of get excited about. Oh, today I get to take a flight to here, you know, and or today's my flight from here to here, or today I'm flying back home, you know. I really like apps that give you that kind of immersion and that kind of feeling when using them. Ryan Field will be just past Black Mountain there up in front. And yes, that is really what we call it. I'm sure you can guess why. And I remember when my dad was learning to fly and getting his pilot's license. I remember that being referenced a lot. There's also a big giant tower, water tower, that they call the Jolly Green, although it's not green anymore. But I don't think it is in... I haven't seen it in the sim. I'll have to look the next time I'm flying by Tucson. But it is very, shall I say, has a very manly shape to it. And that's how it got its name, the Jolly Green. Because it was this butt ugly green color, just hideous. But again, had that shape, if you catch my drift. And so it was very jolly. Remember my dad telling me a story that when he was flying one day, there was a pilot that came over the air traffic control because, you know, he had been told report when you're near the Jolly Green, or beam the Jolly Green. And there was a pilot that had asked, you know, okay, I keep hearing this. What is the Jolly Green?
Pattern call for Ryan FLD. You are about 10 nautical miles out. Plan to join a right downwind for runway 15 at 3,217 feet mean sea level, ideally on a 45-degree entry to downwind, unless ATC or the chart requires something different.
Whoa, what are you doing? Easy. No, don't be climbing. Don't be climbing. Space shuttle approach. We're on the space shuttle approach. We're gonna let it happen. Ooh, another bad landing.
That was a normal touchdown at
Really?
Ryan FLD, about 261 feet per minute.
Wow, that one still
Let's
felt
clear
hard.
the runway calmly and get set for the taxi in.
The hell? Ooh, sorry. I'm sorry. There. Alright, let's get those other lights off. Oh! How did I... Oh, I did. I hit the wrong button. My bad. There we go. Flipping the wrong switches. How much further over you want me to go? Go. Come on, plane. Alright. Oh, darn it. There we go. And let's power it off.
We are parked at Ryan FLD with the engines shut down. This flight looks ready to be logged whenever you are. Ground crew is on station. We can secure the aircraft.
All right, so let's wrap this flight up. Let's see here. Let's toggle that, and let's see what he's got for us. So here's how it works. So we've got finalized flight. Here's how everything went. Landing, we were looking for 77 feet per minute. Was that what? Oh, it's because of after the bounce landing. I see what happened. Okay. So,
mission complete, Captain Mike. The cargo was delivered smoothly. We
cool.
flew about 63 nautical miles. Thanks for the flight, Captain Mike. We are parked at Ryan FLD with the engines shut down. This flight looks ready to be logged whenever you are.
All right, we already got that part.
The fuel is at 21%. We have about 0 miles to Ryan FLD.
All right, so we got that done. There's our achievement. So now it's on the next one. Visit 5 different airports. We've flown to 2 of them. Earned a little bit of cash. And our next flight would take us over to Mesa Gateway if we were to fly up again, but we're not going to fly again tonight. And then you have all your achievement status, and of course you have your logbook. So it's a pretty slick program. It obviously has a lot of maturing to do. There's still much more that has to go. Gosh, that's still not what I was aiming for. That sucks. Gives you your flight time, all that jazz. So it's pretty cool. And I'll tell you that during the video cuts, I was increasing the sim rate, getting through the boring parts, so it tracks the sim rate just fine. So you can speed through parts you don't want to be part of. But give it a try, guys. It is over again. This is SkyMate, and a link to it will be down in the description below to the developer. I think you're doing a fantastic job and on a very good track. And I can't wait to see what comes out with your next updates. As always, folks, stay safe and healthy, and I'll see you in the next one.